Hey gang, good morning. I'm out here sitting on my deck enjoying a cup of coffee, and I thought it might be a good time to talk about something that's come up over the last couple of videos, and that is resistance training for we older guys and gals in order to keep ourselves strong and fit for motorcycle riding and for life in general. Weightlifting, resistance training is something that I've been doing since I was about 15 years old. And with the exception of a few times when I got out of it here or there, it's been pretty much a constant throughout my entire life. And particularly in the last couple of years, I have really reinvigorated myself to get back into the gym and keep myself in shape. So in addition to doing it for the last 40 plus years, I am also a chiropractor, so I have a little bit of background in anatomy, physiology, biomechanics, although I haven't practiced for quite a long time. In addition, I have to say that I am not perfect, right? I could stand to lose about 20 pounds myself. I have changed my diet up. I've given up alcohol, gluten. I keep my diet pretty much low carb, although I don't do keto. And I get in the gym and exercise as well as walk quite a bit. Right now I weigh about 207 pounds, and my personal goal is by the time I'm 65, which is almost exactly 1 year from right now, then I will hopefully be down to 185. Again, that's my goal. So let's go over the benefits of resistance training. It both rebuilds and grows muscle tissue, strengthens your bones and tendons, increases your metabolism, causing you to burn more calories, helps to reduce body fat, reduces blood pressure. It improves your blood lipid profile, that is, it reduces your LDLs, your low density lipoproteins, and increases your HDLs, your high density lipoproteins, which are the good ones. Resistance training also fights and resists diabetes by lowering blood sugar. It also resists and can reverse physical frailty. And overall, it improves mental health. Right, you feel better, you look better, you just do better all the way around. Over the decades, my reasons for getting into the gym have changed. It used to be that I wanted to get bigger, get stronger, so that I looked good in my Speedos. But now nobody wants to see a 64-year-old guy walking around in his Speedos, no matter how much they get in the gym. And I'm sorry about that mental image, guys. So today, I am not as much concerned about whether I look good in a shirt or not. What I'm more concerned about is that I'm strong and fit so that I can continue doing the things that I love to do, like riding my motorcycle and working in my yard. Right? It's just a matter of priority shifting. But what I'm going to do in this series of videos is, of course, show you what I do when I'm in the gym. Over the years, I have found the things that work best for me, and then I've made some modifications that we'll talk about that keep me from being injured, because again, my joints have changed and so forth as I've gotten older. Now, just because I do these things doesn't mean that you have to do them. It should be a place for you to start. Now, if you enjoy getting into the gym and lifting weights, then by all means, give what I do a try. However, if you don't enjoy lifting weights, well, then you can try other things. Some people like running, some people like bicycling, some people like going to aerobic classes. Just find what works for you, because that is what is most important. Not that you're doing exactly what I do, but that you're doing something and that you do it consistently. Now, back in my younger years, I used to get into the gym 6 days a week. Right? I would work every body part out twice per week, and then have one day off, usually a Sunday. That would be the recuperation day. However, now as I've gotten older, I am finding that fewer workouts is benefiting me just as much, if not more. Right? I now get into the gym 4 to 5 days a week, again, depending upon my schedule. Usually that deals with when I want to ride, but I'm only working each body part one time per week. Right, that's allowing me, again, 3 to 4 days a week of rest, and I'm finding that I'm still building muscle, I'm building strength, and I'm not as sore, and I'm reducing my risk of injury. So along with the fact that I have changed up the frequency of my workouts, I have also removed some exercises from my routine. So those exercises that I now exclude include the bench press. I don't do these anymore because they are really bad for my old shoulders. So again, we'll talk about things I do instead. Another exercise that I exclude is the back squat. Again, same kind of reason. The risk of injury from my knees and my low back are far too great. There are other exercises that I can do. The next one that I exclude is deadlift. Again, same reasons. The risk of injury is too high to my low back, so I keep that out of my routine. And the last one, that is barbell military press. Now, I still do shoulder work. I do work overhead, which we'll get to a little bit later. But I exclude this because using the barbell really locks your shoulders into that one position. Now, along with those exercises that I excluded, there are also some changes to certain other exercises that we'll go over as we get into each body part. Now, another thing that I want to emphasize is the importance of maintaining your form while working out. Right? Maintaining your form concentrates the effort on the muscle that you want to work, but it also helps to prevent injury. If you have to force a rep up, then you're lifting too much weight, and you should drop that down so that you can maintain proper form. Now, I have found that the best range of repetitions for each exercise is from 12 to 8. Right? That gives me the maximum pump, right, and helps me to grow muscle and improve strength. When I first start off my exercise every day, I typically will do a set of like 20 repetitions to get the muscle warmed up. But then I go and I grab a weight that allows me to do like 12 repetitions, and that 12th rep should be hard, but I do not go to failure. Again, pushing to failure, again, for an older guy, you're just going to end up increasing your chance of injury. So this is how I divide up my body for each workout. On Monday, I typically do chest and triceps. On Tuesday, I do back and biceps. Wednesday, I do shoulders. And then on Thursday, I do legs. Now, this is not set in stone. I will move it around a little bit depending upon what I have to do that week or whenever the good riding days are. Now, each time I get into the gym, it takes me about 60 to 90 minutes to complete my routine. I work out quickly, but I do not rush through it. I see a lot of younger kids, who are on their phone for 5 minutes between each set. I don't do that. Right? I stay off of my phone. Right? I go in there and I do my routine, and then I go home. Right? That's what it's all about. Concentrate on what you're doing, not what's on your phone. Now, for each body part, I do about 4 to 5 exercises for the larger body parts. That's for chest, for back, for legs, and for shoulders. For the smaller body parts like biceps and triceps, I usually put in 3 different exercises. Now, that's because I'm working the biceps and the triceps as I'm doing all of these other routines as well. Now, I do not work out super slow. That is, I do not do really super slow and controlled movements. I use an explosive movement when I lift the weights, and then I control it when I come down, but again, I do not do it super slow. I have never found those super slow movements to be effective for me, and I don't know, for me, if you train slow, you're going to be slow. Right? Life is not about slow movements, it's about a series of quick movements that we do over and over again on a daily basis. So again, for me, I'm going to work out quickly but controlled. So each set of 12 to 8 repetitions takes about 30 to 45 seconds to complete, and then I will rest for 1 minute to 2 minutes, right, between each set. I really listen to my body. I listen to my heart primarily, right, because as you lift, your heart rate is going to get up, and then I let it cool down, I let it calm down before I move on to the next one. Right? And that's because, again, I'm an older guy, so I'm going to let myself recuperate a little bit longer than trying to constantly keep my heart rate up all of the time. So I guess that brings us to cardio work. I do some cardiovascular exercise, at least specific cardiovascular exercise, and that is walking. I try to walk about 3 times per week. I have a rather hilly 3-mile route that I do. Now, I have to be honest though, that if a good riding day comes up, well, I'm probably going to take that rather than go out for a walk. Right? But again, I try to do that. So especially here as we get into the fall and riding season is going to be calming down, then my walking will increase. Now, I mentioned that lifting weights is going to get your heart rate up, and that is how you get a cardiovascular benefit from weightlifting. Because contrary to popular opinion, it does have a cardiovascular benefit. It's kind of like running sprints. Right? As you're lifting the weight, you're increasing your blood pressure, your heart will beat very high and very forcefully during that 30 seconds or so that you're doing the exercise. And then as you stop doing the exercise, then your blood pressure will go down, your heart rate will decrease, right? Again, and that's where you get the cardiovascular benefit from weightlifting. So with time and consistency of doing these kinds of routines, weightlifting can actually lower your resting blood pressure and lower your resting heart rate. Right? Again, it's just about being consistent. All right, so I think that's a pretty good introduction. What we're going to do from here is I'm going to make a series of videos that will cover each day of my workout routine. Right? I'll try to put them out all at once so that you can go through them very quickly. And of course, if you have any questions about what we just covered, put those in the comments and I'll try to answer them the best that I can. And also the same with each of the workout routines. And we'll get into the details of each of those routines as we start putting those videos out. All right, guys, I hope this has been helpful and I hope that these routines are helpful for you. So you continue to ride safe.